Hello, hi. Hello, everyone. Hi, everyone. Welcome to a new live stream. How's it going? Today, we are going to learn some Spanish vocabulary or some Spanish airport vocabulary. Yeah, so we're going to learn different words and a few verbs as well that will help you communicate in Spanish, specifically if we're talking about things that you can find at an airport. And of course, if you're traveling, this is going to be really helpful. So before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and also click on the bell icon so you can get notified every time I live stream. I want to give a big shout out. Sorry. I want to give a big shout out to our members, to our Cafecito members, Ruby Brockenberry, Christopher Michael, Raymond Sather, William Lopez, David Beaver, and KS. Thank you guys for the support. The café es delicioso. El cafecito está delicioso. If you like what I do, you can also get a membership on this channel. You only need to click on the join button down below. And you can check out the perks. And basically, you're just buying me some coffee, a cup of coffee. Okay, great. Thank you so much for the support, Cafecito members. Okay, so that's great. Let's get started. Let's do it. Are you ready? Remember that I'm live streaming, so if you want to ask any question, please use the live chat for that. The only thing is that you gotta be a subscriber in order to use that live chat. So yeah, you can just click on subscribe and start using the live chat on this channel. Great. Okay. So as I said a few seconds ago, we're going to talk about el aeropuerto. El aeropuerto. Aeropuerto means airport. El aeropuerto. Same thing, airport. Remember that we use definite articles, el in this case, because that way you can see if the noun or the word is feminine or masculine. That's very important in Spanish. You need to know the gender, the grammatical gender of nouns. And yeah, it's very challenging. I know. El aeropuerto. The airport. So the words are quite similar. Airport, aeropuerto, they're similar. So it's going to be easy to remember. So we have 4 different sets of words, and yeah, it's a lot. So it's going to be a long lesson because we're gonna learn a lot of vocabulary, like many words. Okay. So the first set or the first group of words is the whole thing, or this is the whole thing. The words are these, and it's all in Spanish, guys. It's all in Spanish, so that way you forget a little bit about English. And of course, I'm going to tell you the meaning of each word. Okay, so the first word, guys, is la línea aérea. La línea aérea. What does that mean? La línea aérea means airline. Okay, la línea aérea. It's very funny because airline, that's like the literal translation of airline. Línea aérea. Line, línea aérea, in this case, because we're talking about flights in airports and all of that. Aérea, air. Airline, línea aérea. La línea aérea. Perfect. That's the first thing. It's good to know that, right? Because when you're traveling, you want to know about the airline. What airline? La línea aérea. El avión. Avión sounds very similar to the French word, I believe, for plane. or airplane. That's what this means. That's what this means. One sec, guys. There you go. Sorry. Okay. So, el avión means airplane. So, very simple. Avión. Remember, the V sound in Spanish is similar to the B as in bell sound. Okay. So don't worry about, oh my God, am I saying this V letter correctly in Spanish? Because it's not a big difference from, or between B as in bell, V as in vector. Okay, so it's the same sound, B as in bell. Avión, el avión. Okay? Perfect. The next one, guys, is... Well, you know this one already because I already told you this one. El aeropuerto. El aeropuerto. Aeropuerto. Sorry. El aeropuerto. This means airport. Very simple. You know this one already. KS is in the house. KS says, necesito unas vacaciones. Remember, vacaciones is feminine. Las vacaciones, unas vacaciones. Great example, KS. Welcome. Okay, the next one, guys, is las llegadas. Las llegadas means, do you know what this means? This means arrivals, okay? Las llegadas. That's something important to know when you are at an airport. Maybe you need to know about arrivals. You're expecting someone to arrive. So you can use this word, las llegadas. Las llegadas, that's plural. Llegada, singular. So yeah, it's up to you which one you need to use. But las llegadas means arrivals. Okay, great. So that's easy breezy. The next one is la aduana. La aduana. This means customs. So la aduana. Airports usually, well, when you travel internationally, you will encounter this customs, right? So la aduana means customs. Now, we talked about las llegadas. The opposite of that is las salidas. Las salidas, that means departures. Very easy. Las llegadas, arrivals. Las salidas, departures. Okay? Both are plural. Now, the next one, well, if you want this one singular, la salida. Right? So, la salida, singular, las salidas, plural. Ajá. The next one is la tienda libre de impuestos. La tienda libre de impuestos. La tienda means store. So you can just use that word to refer to any store. La tienda, una tienda, la tienda. La tienda, the store. Una tienda, a store, right? Any store, a store. But when you add this, libre de impuestos, that means duty-free store. Okay, libre de impuestos. Impuestos in Spanish means taxes. Okay, and libre, well, free, no taxes. Okay, so the whole thing, la tienda libre de impuestos, means duty-free store. So you can find things that don't have any taxes, right? You don't have to pay taxes for those items. Okay. Now, the next one, guys, this is just a term. Temprano. Temprano means early, okay? So usually when you go to an airport, you have to be there early, temprano. Tengo que estar ahí temprano, temprano, early. Usually, I think 2 or 3 hours. It depends on the trip, the flight. If you go out of the country, I think it's 3 hours, I believe. If it's a national flight, I think it's 2, maybe. I don't know. It's been a while. I mean, I haven't traveled in a while, so I don't know if anything changed. Now, the next thing, guys, el vuelo. El vuelo. Vuelo means flight. El vuelo. Flight. The flight, flight. Okay? So it's a masculine noun. El vuelo. El vuelo. So that is very good to know. This one is a very important one. Because you talk a lot about your flight when you are at an airport, right? El vuelo, flight. Now, la puerta. La puerta, it's just a general term to refer to a door, but also you can use it to refer to a gate, okay? You can add more to this. You can add de embarque. So that's like the whole term to refer to a gate at an airport, okay? La puerta de embarque. But you can also say la puerta, okay? If you want to be more specific, then use the term la puerta de embarque, okay? So now you know. Now you know. This one, guys. La inmigración. La inmigración. This means immigration. So once again, when you travel internationally, you might have to use this term, right? Very likely. Of course, if you go to a Spanish-speaking country, you will see signs and so on. Well, mostly signs in Spanish. So you now know the meaning, right, of the terms. La inmigración, la aduana, usually those are together. La aduana, la inmigración. La aduana, remember that means customs. La inmigración means immigration. Okay. Tarde. Tarde, we learned this term. Temprano. Temprano means early. Tarde means afternoon, by the way. But also it means late. Llegaste tarde. You're late. Tarde. Tarde. Late. Great. Now the next term, la escala. La escala. Escala means just to stop. Sometimes you have to, well, when you take a flight somewhere, you might have a few stops because it's a long trip or something like that. So la escala means stop, just a stop that you take, or yeah, when you fly from one point to another, and then that's the stop, and then you fly to another, to the final destination. La escala, just a stop. If someone says, for example, el vuelo tiene 2 escalas, that means the flight has 2 stops. Okay? So you have to stop in 2 different countries or 2 different places. la escala. Now, el control de seguridad. El control de seguridad means security check. Okay? So this place or this area is when, where people check, people who work there check your bags and all of that. El control de seguridad, security check. Easy breezy. Now the next one, guys. La terminal. La terminal, this is exactly the same spelling as the English term terminal. Terminal, right? So, la terminal, terminal. So, the pronunciation is completely different, but the spelling is exactly the same. Okay, perfect. That's awesome. I'm drinking some tea. Estoy bebiendo un té. Té verde, green tea. Delicious. I also drink a lot of coffee. Okay, anyway. The second set of words, you can see them right there. And there are a lot. There are a lot. Many, many words. Do you recognize anything? Can you, do you see any familiar word? It's a lot. Okay, so let's talk about the first one. This one is interesting. This one is very interesting. La recogida. La recogida. I'm sorry, it's just a funny term. El reclamo de equipaje. Okay? So, la recogida de equipaje or el reclamo de equipaje means baggage claim. Okay? So, where you get your luggage from. Baggage claim. If you have big, baggage, then you will find it there. La recogida de equipaje, that's the first term. Or also, another term for that is el reclamo de equipaje. Either one works. Okay. The next one is this one right here. El billete de avión. El billete de avión. And this one is very peculiar because billete, this term, means ticket in Spain. Okay? In Latin America, this means like money, bill, dollar bill. But for some reason in Spain, they call this billete, el billete de avión. That means plane ticket. El billete de avión. Also, same term, but used in Latin America, el boleto de avión. El boleto de avión. And this means the same thing, plane ticket. Very easy. Just remember, billete is mostly used in Spain. Boleto is mostly used in Latin America. Now, this term here is very interesting. De ida y vuelta. De ida y vuelta. This term is used like you have to say un boleto or el boleto or el billete de ida y vuelta. Okay, so that's the whole term. El billete de ida y vuelta or el boleto de ida y vuelta, and that means round trip ticket, plane ticket. Okay, You could say el billete de avión de ida y vuelta or el boleto de avión de ida y vuelta. Same thing, or you can just avoid saying de avión and you can just say el boleto de ida y vuelta or el billete de ida y vuelta. Ida y vuelta means like going and coming, okay? So you're going and then you're coming back. Ida, vuelta, okay? So in English, that's known as round trip ticket, okay? Interesting. It's a long term. El billete sencillo, okay, or el boleto sencillo. Either one works. Billete, once again, you know where it's used. This one is used in Spain. Boleto, Latin America. Sencillo, in this case, means one-way ticket. El billete sencillo, el boleto sencillo. Once again, you can add the whole term, el billete de avión sencillo, or el boleto de avión sencillo, and that means just one-way ticket. Just one-way ticket. Also, you can use the term solo de ida. Solo de ida. El boleto de avión, solo de ida. And that means, or el billete de avión, solo de ida. Solo de ida means, once again, one way. Solo de ida, one way. And then when you add billete or boleto, that means one-way ticket. So both terms are commonly used. I've used both. El boleto sencillo or el boleto solo de ida. Very commonly used. Now, the next one. La clase económica. La clase económica. This is another common term, and it happens like this term is used a lot when flying, especially if you're buying your ticket, your plane ticket, and this means economy class. Okay. You can say el boleto de avión de clase económica, and that means just economy class plane ticket, right? It's the whole thing. But you can just say la clase económica, and that means just economy class. Okay. La primera clase. Primera clase. La primera clase. This means, you know what this means. First class. Okay. Primera, first. Clase, class. Primera, we are saying primera because we're using clase. Clase is feminine. La clase. That's why we have to say la primera clase. And the same thing, well, with economy class. Económica means, in this case, economy. Clase, class. La clase económica. Economy class. La primera clase. First class. Or, yeah, the first class. Literally. Okay. El pasaporte. This one is very important to take with you if you're traveling again to another country. And el pasaporte means passport. Okay. They sound similar in English and in Spanish. So it's easy to remember. That's something good to know for sure. El pasaporte, passport. Now, the next one, la forma. La forma. La forma. Usually when you also travel to another country, you have to fill out la forma, a form. In this case, la forma means the form. If you say una forma, that means a form. any form, right? So fill out the form, please. Llenen la forma, por favor. So usually you need your passport and your form. So el pasaporte y la forma. Something really important to remember. La visa, el visado. This is, well, you can see two terms. They mean visa. Okay, so your visa when you travel. La visa, el visado. I use the term la visa, but some other people, some other Spanish speakers can say el visado. Okay, both terms are perfectly fine. La tarjeta de embarque. La tarjeta de embarque means boarding pass. La tarjeta de embarque. Embarque, you remember we said la puerta de embarque, that means gate. La tarjeta de embarque, that means boarding pass. Okay? Now, the next one, guys. El pase de abordar. El pase de abordar, same thing. Boarding pass, okay? So people might say la tarjeta de embarque, el pase de abordar, same thing. Abordar also means to board, okay? So very interesting, very interesting. El equipaje. El equipaje. Equipaje means baggage, luggage. Okay, so el equipaje. Very easy. In English, you have two terms, baggage, luggage. In Spanish, we have only one, el equipaje. El equipaje. You can also say las maletas. I'm just going to put it here. Technically means the same. Las maletas. But usually you will hear el equipaje. El equipaje. Las maletas. That's another term, but el equipaje is mainly used in, at an airport for sure. Okay, the next one, guys, is el equipaje de mano. El equipaje de mano, that means carry-on luggage. Okay, so the one that you can take with you on the plane. So el equipaje de mano. Carry-on luggage. Very easy. De mano. That's pretty much, it refers to the hand. And el equipaje, luggage. Mano, hand. Okay, el equipaje facturado. El equipaje facturado, that means checked luggage. Okay, facturado. El equipaje facturado. Checked luggage. Easy breezy. I'm saying that a lot. Easy breezy. Okay. Now we have another term. La carretilla or el carrito. La carretilla, el carrito. That means cart. Specifically the small cart that you can find in airports, right? La carretilla, el carrito. Carrito, small car. Technically, you're saying small car. Carro, remember, that means car in Spanish. But when you're saying carrito, that means cart. Okay? For some reason, it's weird, I know, but that's how it works. La carretilla, el carrito, cart. Wow. Many terms. Now, let me just, erase this. So many terms, so many terms. Okay, it says, viajo a Miami en tren. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so now we have more words. This is the third set, and we have one more, and that will be it. But yeah, I mean, all these terms are used at airports. So, by the way, this is just basic terms. Obviously, there's like a lot more terms to learn, but these are basic and important as well. Okay. El asiento. El asiento means seat. Okay, so asiento means seat in general, so you can refer to the one inside of a plane, or when you take the train, you know, or when you take the bus, or in your car as well. That's just a general term that means seat, right? So, el asiento, seat. Now, there are seats, like different seats when you are on a plane. You can find one closer to the aisle, one closer to the window. So let's learn about that. When you say el asiento cerca del pasillo, that means, do you know what this means? This means, or it's very similar to saying aisle seat. Okay, so it's the seat closest or closer to the aisle, you know, where you can, I don't think that's a good seat. I don't think people like that seat. So it's this one right here, right? This one right here. Oh my God. This one right here. And pasillo means aisle. Cerca means just close to. De él, remember, this is a word that is made by two different words. De él. In Spanish, we don't have de él, or you should not say de él. De and the definite article él. We like get those two words together as one, and it becomes del. Cerca del pasillo. And you know what asiento means, seat. El asiento cerca del pasillo, or also el asiento del pasillo. Okay, I just added cerca to make it more specific, but the two terms are quite similar, quite common to say. And yeah, they mean the same thing. Now, this one, I want to talk about this one. El asiento de en medio. El asiento de en medio, that means middle seat. You cannot see it here, but it's usually between this seat, and this seat. The one in the middle. So yeah, that means middle seat. Sometimes people spell this word or the two words en medio just as one, en medio. It's grammatically incorrect, but it's acceptable. The correct term is en medio, two words. El asiento de en medio. That's just the middle seat. Also, we have the other seat. Where is it? Okay, so I don't have it here for some reason, but I'm just gonna change this one because it's pretty much the same. El asiento cerca de la ventanilla. And you can see you can see this other term here, ventanilla, ventanilla, la ventanilla, and that means the window, right? Just the window instead of a plane. When you say el asiento cerca de la ventanilla, that means just the seat that is close to the window, or the window seat, right? So that's the opposite of the pasillo. Pasillo, aisle, ventanilla, window. Okay? And you probably heard the term ventana. Ventana. That also means window, but when we're talking about airplanes, ventanilla is just the small window that the airplanes have. Yeah. Now you know the two terms, el asiento cerca del pasillo or el asiento cerca de la ventanilla. Okay. And I'm just gonna underline this word. El pasajero. El pasajero means passenger. El pasajero, passenger. El piloto, pilot. El piloto, pilot. El sobrecargo. El sobrecargo means flight attendant. Also, this can be feminine, and you can say la sobrecargo. So the word stays the same. You don't have to say la sobrecarga. That's incorrect. You're going to say la sobrecargo. Okay? Now the next term, guys, the next term is, this is interesting, el auxiliar de vuelo. El auxiliar de vuelo. And this means the same thing, flight attendant. Okay? Also, another similar term is el aeromozo. El aeromozo. That means the same thing, flight attendant. Of course, you can change, that's masculine, el auxiliar de vuelo, or you can say la auxiliar de vuelo. So that's feminine, okay? Same with this one, but there's a difference here. This, if you want to make this feminine, then you have to say la aeromoza. Aeromoza, okay? La aeromoza. Feminine, el aeromozo, masculine. That one changes. The next one, guys, is el azafato. El azafato, same thing, flight attendant. So many names to refer to a flight attendant. La azafata, that means the same thing, but one is masculine and the other one is feminine. El azafato masculine, la azafata feminine. Okay? So many terms, guys, many terms. I know. So el sobrecargo, la sobrecargo, el auxiliar de vuelo, la auxiliar de vuelo, el aeromozo, la aeromoza, el azafato, la azafata. Okay? So many terms. So if you hear any of them, you know that we're talking about a flight attendant. Excellent. Okay, let's move on. The next term, guys, is el pasillo, aisle, the aisle. La comida, food. Okay, so I don't know if that still happens when you are on a plane. I don't know if you still get food or not, maybe some snacks. But in general, if you want to refer to food, any food, snacks including, you can say la comida, okay? But there's a specific term for snacks, and that's la botana. La botana, snacks. That's quite interesting because there's different names for this as well. We have I believe in Spain, they call this refrigerio. Okay, so I'm just gonna add it here. El refrigerio. El refrigerio, la botana, both mean the same thing. Snacks, or just snack. Right? Botana is used in Mexico. El refrigerio is used in different parts of Latin America, also I believe in Spain. In Spain, yeah, it can be that, or it can be pisco labis, apparently, but I've never heard of that term before. Yeah, I think it's more like refrigerio. Refrigerio is just a general term to refer to snacks, and la botana is commonly used in Mexico. Okay. Now, let's move on, guys. Let's move on. The next term is something that I remember a lot because I used to travel more than I do now. But I remember you get cacahuates. Cacahuates. Los cacahuates, that means peanuts. Okay, peanuts. Los cacahuates. I remember they used to give peanuts. Also, there is another term for this. Used in Latin America, other parts of Latin America, el maní. El maní. And in Spain, instead of cacahuates, people say cacahuete. Cacahuete. Cacahuetes. So that means peanuts. In Mexico, in other countries, and in other countries in Latin America, cacahuates. So you just change one letter, really. Cacahuates, cacahuetes. They kind of sound the same too, and that means peanuts. El maní also is another common term to refer to peanuts. Okay. Now we have other kind of snack that you get on a plane sometimes. Las galletas, galletas. Las galletas means just cookies. Okay. So yeah, some people get cookies when they're traveling, when they're on a plane. You can also get peanuts, cacahuates, maní, or just a snack, una botana, un refrigerio, la botana feminine, el refrigerio masculine, or just in general, just food, right? Comida, la comida. Also, another thing that you get is sometimes, most times I think, la bebida. La bebida, that means just a drink. So any drink, it could be an alcoholic drink, or just any type of drink. Orange juice, pop, soda, just water, right? So it's just a drink. La bebida. La bebida. And I need mi bebida. Tea as well. Té. Okay. La bebida. So we learned interesting terms. We have a few more and including some verbs, just a few verbs that are, related to what we're talking about today, the airport. Okay, so another interesting term is la frazada. This is the last thing, guys. La frazada, or la cobija. Okay, la cobija, and this means blanket, any blanket, right? There are different, like, for example, la frazada, by the way, I apologize for this. Correct spelling, I needed to correct that. La frazada is used in Latin America. La cobija is used also in Latin America. Excuse me. Also, another term is manta. Manta, la manta. That's a general term. La manta. I personally use la cobija, but also I know about the term la frazada, la manta. Same thing. We're talking about a blanket. So nothing too complicated there. Now you know different terms for that. We also have here la almohada para el cuello. La almohada para el cuello. Cuello means neck. Almohada means pillow. Okay? So when you say la almohada para el cuello, that means neck pillow. The neck pillow, the famous neck pillow that looks like the letter U. That is the neck pillow. La almohada para el cuello. Remember that the letter H in Spanish is mute. La almohada, almohada. Okay? Please don't say la almohada because that doesn't make any sense. The letter H is mute. Remember that. We also have el cinturón de seguridad. El cinturón de seguridad. You know what this means. This means seatbelt. Okay? So any seatbelt. It could be one that you can find in a plane or in your car or I don't know. Usually you find them in planes and cars. And yeah, I think so, right? So that means seatbelt, el cinturón de seguridad. This is a very important one to remember. Now, all these terms are quite long. El compartimiento de arriba. El compartimiento de arriba. That means the overhead compartment. Okay, so planes have that. Sometimes people put things in there like bags, handbags, and other things up there. So it's important to remember carry-on luggage too. They put it in there. El compartimiento de arriba. Overhead compartment. Okay? This one is important too. Las instrucciones de seguridad. Las instrucciones de seguridad. Instrucciones is a long term that means instructions. And seguridad, that means safety. So when we say las instrucciones de seguridad, that means safety instructions. Okay, so you can find those or the instructions. You can find the instructions usually in a brochure, right? So that is something important. Las instrucciones de seguridad. The next term, guys, la mesa. La mesa. La mesa or la mesita plegable. Oof. Okay, so that's another term. La mesa plegable, that means do you know what that means? It's just a table that you can find, when you're sitting in front of your seat. La mesa plegable or la mesita plegable. Plegable. That is an interesting term. And it's pretty much just, that means folding. A folding table. Even though you don't fold the table, but you just put it, on the seat. So that's what it's called. La mesa plegable, la mesita plegable. Okay, so the next term, guys, we're almost done, by the way. El descansabrazos. El descansabrazos or el apoyabrazos. That is a long term. Descansabrazos, apoyabrazos. And brazos, you know what this means. Brazos means arms. Brazos. When you say descansa, that means to rest your arms. Or to apoya. Apoya is another term, a verb from apoyar is the verb, and that means support. Okay, so apoyar, literally, to support your arms. Descansar or descansa in this case is to rest your arms. Descansabrazos, apoyabrazos. And that means, you know what this means? I already told you. This means armrest. Okay, so just the armrests that you find on a seat. So yeah, descansabrazos. We're referring to the two, right? Arm seats. Armrests. Arm seats. Well, you're sitting, I don't know what I'm saying, but descansabrazos, armrests. Or el apoyabrazos. Actually, when you say el descansabrazos, that's just one armrest. If you want to refer to both, you only have to change the definite article el to los. Okay? Los descansabrazos, los apoyabrazos. And that is plural. That means armrests. Okay, the next one, guys. The next one, we're almost done. La salida de emergencia. La salida de emergencia means, you know what this means. Emergencia means emergency. Salida means exit. So if we say la salida de emergencia, that means exit. No, emergency exit. Okay? Emergency exit. Yes. The next one is la luz, just the reading light that you get. Well, you don't get, but you see in a plane, inside of a plane. And you can just refer to it as la luz. It's just light. Yeah. So let's not complicate that. La luz, the reading light. Also, we have la ventilación or el aire. La ventilación is just the air vents that you can see next to the reading lights. So, la ventilación, el aire. Aire means air. Ventilación means ventilation. You can just refer to the air vents as la ventilación, el aire. The next thing is la cabina. La cabina means just the cabin, okay? So, yeah, la cabina, cabin, usually the pilot will refer to the cabin, and I don't know what other things they say, but la cabina means cabin. We also have a few verbs, guys. This is the last thing. We have a few verbs. The first one is embarcar. Embarcar. Also, abordar. Just gonna add it here. Embarcar, abordar. That means to board, okay? When you need to board a plane. Board a plane. Okay, so that's a very important verb when talking about this in particular. We also have comprar un boleto or un billete. Comprar un, that means to buy a, and then you add boleto or billete, and that means just a ticket, right? To buy a ticket. Comprar un boleto, comprar un billete. Comprar means to buy. We also have the verb facturar or chequear el equipaje. Facturar or chequear means just to check in your bags, okay? So if you have big bags, you might have to do this. Facturar, chequear, both terms, both verbs are commonly used. We have the verb declarar. Declarar, that means to declare, okay? To declare whatever you need to, right? And we have the verb despegar. Despegar, that means to take off. Something that obviously happens at airports. Despegar, el avión está despegando, and that means just despegar, to take off. Okay? And lastly, we have aterrizar. Aterrizar means to land. Okay? So that's the opposite of despegar, to take off. Aterrizar, to land. Okay. Oh man, so many terms, guys. That's like a lot, I know. But you can rewatch or just watch this again and practice your pronunciation. You can also practice you can watch this again to remember all the terms. That's what I wanted to say. Okay, so that's it. Do you have any questions, guys? Any questions at all? Yeah, I know it's a lot, guys, but hopefully this helps you if you're traveling somewhere, especially to a Spanish-speaking country. I hope this all the terms help you. And yeah. Okay, guys, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this lesson. If you liked it, please just give it a like. That helps me a lot. Also, remember to subscribe and just click the bell icon so you can get notified every time I live stream. I know I'm today I live stream a bit earlier, but yeah, it's just I'm sorry I had to do this a bit early, but yeah, I hope you like this lesson. Espero que les haya gustado. That's it. Have a lovely evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. Cuídense. Nos vemos a la próxima. I'll see you next week. Bye. Adiós.